Now, we've got some great speakers here today. So first of all, I would like to introduce Miss Lori, the organizer of this rally.
Welcome, Food Freedom Marchers. This is our 4th march, and you know what? We're not going away. How many of you have marched against Monsanto before? This march is not only against Monsanto, but against the big agricultural giants like Bayer, Syngenta, Dow, and DuPont. I've got some crosses back here if anyone wants to carry some of those. Our march coincides with Organic Week that starts today, the Seed Freedom Global Movement, the People's Climate March tomorrow, and the Okanagan Organic Festival next week. To date, there are massive amounts of agrochemicals dumped onto our food and in our water annually. Some of these chemicals, like glyphosate, can be found in mother's milk, BT, toxin in umbilical cords, and in air, rain, and soil. The USDA has just approved a new GMO corn in soy that is engineered to withstand repeated spraying of T2,4-D. Yes, that's right, T2,4-D, the same component in Agent Orange. The herbicide used to grow these new GMO crops will contain a blend of not just 2,4-D, but with glyphosate, which is Roundup, and will result in millions of pounds of more pesticides being dumped into our ecosystem annually. Just what are we thinking? Food freedom is not just about Monsanto, it's about our seeds, our biodiversity, our food security, our right to grow our own food, protection of our farmland and our farmers. Our environment and water are toxic. We are toxic. We must take a step back and think about what we're leaving for the next generation. Food sovereignty for everyone on the planet. Isn't that right, everybody?
Yeah!
We march for food security and the right for our farmers to save their own seed. There's an introduction of Bill C-18. Does anyone know about that? The Agricultural Growth Act. This will severely limit not just the variety of seeds to our farmers, but the rights of our Canadian farmers to save their own seeds. We need to keep our biodiversity and seed varieties in the hands of our farmers and the Canadian citizens, don't we? This bill will even have the potential to force the farmers to pay royalties each time the hay is cut. Isn't that crazy? This bill will increase corporate control of seeds, increase seed costs to the farmers, and will give the government control of removing specific plant varieties. We see this happening right now. Yep. These big agricultural companies are buying these seeds and they're discontinuing seed varieties. We're losing our biodiversity. Yeah. So many of these are buying and acquiring seed companies, these big agro corporations. We have a petition on the table for that, and there's also, you can sign the petition online under the National Farmers Union. Or you can send me a message on the March Against Monsanto Kelowna page. Now our apple market is at risk as well with the GMO Arctic apple here in Kelowna. These apples that shut off the enzyme that make the apples go brown will not be labeled as GMO. They'll be labeled as Arctic apples. How many families will actually know what they're eating? And that is, it's a genetically modified apple. Don't you think we ought to know what we're eating, folks? Yeah. And then our bees are dying in massive numbers. Up to a third of the bee deaths worldwide, and many studies blaming the neonicotinoid pesticide as a contributing cause as it impairs the bee's immune system. Birds are being affected and butterflies as well. Now Syngenta, one of the biggest manufacturers of pesticide, has just asked the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, to actually increase the legal tolerance of these bee-killing pesticides for several crop varieties. And that's up to 400 times more than already exists. Two of Ontario's largest beekeepers have filed a class action lawsuit against Bayer and Syngenta, for causing up to 50% of massive bee colony deaths. This is happening right here in BC as well. And did you know that Salmon Arm just became the 13th municipality to become GE free? Yeah, that just happened last week. Others include North Vancouver, Richmond, Cherryville, as well as many regions on Vancouver Island. Shouldn't the Okanagan, shouldn't we be GE free too? Definitely, the Okanagan should not be a GMO test plot. Don't you agree our families should not be lab rats? And keep your eyes open for that GMO new banana. Another GMO crop variety that is trying to be fast-tracked without any long-term trials. Long-term human safety studies simply do not exist when it comes to GMO crops. We are indeed science experiments. We have no choice to avoid GMOs as they have infiltrated our air, water, soil, and bodies with the chemicals that they're used to grow them. We need to know what we're feeding our families. We march for GMO labeling and no patents on life. We march today to say stop. Just stop. Genetic manipulation of our food supply can be irreversible with unpredictable results. We march to end corporate greed when it comes to our seeds. Today and every day we can make a choice for food freedom. Today we march to take our food and seeds back. Are you ready to march for food freedom? Yeah! Right. Thank you for being part of the food revolution and march on. Food freedom, seed freedom. Back to you, Darren.
Right on. Lori Timbol, you can find her on Facebook, of course, on the March group, and make sure you get people involved with that and joined up. Remember, we got a March date, right?
Yeah, 23rd of May.
23rd of May. You going to be here? Yes? 23rd of May, and we're also going to talk about apples. Of course, that's kind of a thing right now. Okay, Wendy. Where's Wendy?
Right here.
Oh, what? Wendy? Yeah? What's that? Rob, are you trying to... What?
I have something to say too.
Oh, sure.
Wendy first.
Okay, please welcome up here Wendy Wright from the Okanagan Green Society.
Hi, everybody. What a beautiful day. Thank you, Lori and Darren, for organizing this. This is such a vital awakening that we have happening, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank Thunderhill Organic Apple Farm in Winfield and Lake Country for donating those gorgeous organic Macintosh apples. And guess what? They're non-GMO. You know, really? Do we need a non-browning apple? No, we don't. There are so many apple varieties that just grow and you eat them off the tree and they're just fine the way they are. Even the silly companies that exist in the States, Crunchpack is one of them, have said publicly that they would not buy a non-GMO browning apple because it's not necessary. You know, these companies that take apples and slice them and put them in plastic boxes so we can sell them 2 weeks later in McDonald's, even they don't want a genetically modified apple. It doesn't make sense. We're not that silly. So I have some good news to share with everybody. I have a lot of organic statistics that I'm really, really excited about. Guess what? In the province of British Columbia, over 66% of people are buying organic food all the time. That's huge. The organic industry in Canada is the 4th largest in the world. From the 2013 executive summary, we have $3.7 billion in sales in the organic market. It's huge. It's not going away, and we need to support those people because they are doing everything right. I stumble sometimes on why we even think, why we question supporting conventional agriculture. Why do we support people that would go around in a hazmat suit to spray toxic chemicals on food that we eat? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm asking everybody that's here today to support your local organic Okanagan farmers, the Forbes Farm, everybody that does it, because they're doing it right. And they have to go through a lot. They have to be certified. They have to pay. They have to do so much to prove that they're doing it right. Why should the people that are doing it wrong just get away with it? So that's my question. I would love to see all of you come to the Organic Okanagan Festival next Sunday. We've moved it downtown for the first time ever. I'm kind of nervous about that. I think it's going to be great. It's at the Rotary Center for the Arts, Sunday, September 28th. So hope to see you all there. Thanks.